Okay, I'm back. So basically, in video one, I just covered how the reason why these artists are controlled by these corporations and these people that control the matrix or whatever is because they don't understand law and they don't understand the art of contracts and they don't understand what their signature means to a contract, because a contract has no power unless you sign it. The contract has no power, I repeat that again, has no power unless you sign it. And I'm not saying that these artists shouldn't sign contracts, but what I am saying is that when you get into the music industry, you need to know how to come to the table and negotiate with these labels. That's the key point. You need to know how to come to the table and negotiate with these labels. And most of these youngsters that are in the music industry or trying to get in the music industry have no idea of how to deal in corporate law. And they take them to the bank. And normally, another thing is that if they're giving you an advance, because like this is another game that they're using, they give you an advance of say $300,000 and you got to cut 5 albums. So they give you $300,000 or even $1 million. They give you $1 million, but you got to cut 5 albums. Now they already got the studio set up that you're going to cut the album at, and that goes back to them. They already got the people that's going to deal with your artwork and your videos and all that stuff on deck. They already got all these people on deck. So it's basically like a conglomerate of people that they already have on deck, and that's why they control you, because you don't have your own choreographers, your own video choreographers. You don't have your own A&R reps. You don't have anything usually when these people come to the table with these labels. Like they don't have any of this. Like they don't even know any of this. All they know is that they want to be a rapper and that they like to rap and they like to make music. So normally what these youngsters do is they get them a little home studio and they come out with a hit. You know what I'm saying? Like I was in contact, and I know this group named Fly or whatever. The group is named Fly, and they made a song called "I'm Swaggin', I'm Surfing, I'm Swaggin', I'm Surfing." It's a beautiful song or whatever. But I remember them telling me that they got like $300,000 or something like that for their advanced deal. They had to cut like 5 albums or something like that, and then on top of that they had to do free shows. And I remember when one of the guys that I knew, he wasn't in the group, it was the older brother or whatever. I mean, these guys were still, you know what I'm saying, like driving around in like regular cars just like me. I mean, they didn't have like no Bentleys and things of that nature. Like they didn't have none of that. So the thing is that you guys don't really understand how the music industry works. You think that you're just going to get a record deal and just become rich and famous, when most of these people are not rich and famous. So that's why they keep wanting to go up to tier level, and then they figure, well, I got to sign a $20 million deal. It's because they're getting fucked on the back end. I mean, excuse my language, but they're basically fucking you on the back end, because if you really knew law and knew how to work with these labels, you could actually sell 100,000, like do a deal or whatever where you had like 100,000 downloads for one song, and you could actually be straight off of that for life, just off 100,000 downloads. You don't need to sign these deals for like $20 million so you can have to do a blood sacrifice and things of this nature, and you have to worship these pagan gods, and you doing this all in the name of money because you don't know how to read your contract. And there's very few people out there that really know what they're doing as far as like signing these deals. Now I heard that Jay-Z was a good businessman. I heard that he really knows what he's doing as far as him entering into agreements with these labels or whatnot. Like I don't know what he's done. I don't know if he's done any sacrifices or not. Like I said, I'm not here to slander anybody's character, but I know that sacrificing is going down in the industry, and I'm not going to name any names, but I know sacrificing is definitely going down in the industry. I'll say that much. And that's for those individuals who know that they partook in that. They have to deal with that at the end of the day, because like really at the end of the day, you're just lowering your own vibrational level when you deal in these blood sacrifices and these darker rituals for money and fame and fortune. See, if you were independent and knew how to control your own show and knew how to basically understand the law and the law of contracts, you could make you could make $1 million off of only really having a small audience. Like you could actually make $1 million off of just having like maybe 100,000 fans. I mean, you don't need 1 million fans or 10 million fans and all this to make millions of dollars off the industry. You could make $1 million off of having 50,000 fans if you knew what you were doing. It's just the fact that most of these artists don't understand business. That's basically what I'm getting at. The reason why the music industry and these artists are controlled is because of a lack of knowledge of business. It don't have nothing to do with nothing else. You can come into the music industry if you understood what ASCAP is doing for you, if you understood what BMI is doing for you. You wouldn't need these so-called middlemen to work and do deals for you. You can go directly to these radio stations and these agencies yourself and cut deals. And that's another thing I want to point out. every time you see an artist on television, I'm sure some of you noticed that have studied the business end of the music industry. This is for like the average lay person that doesn't know anything about the music industry. Well, I'm just putting out tidbits of information. But anytime you see an artist that's on television and they are on the radio and they're getting interviewed, that was a contract that took place. That's basically what I'm getting at. That was a contract. So either they bought into the network or the network gave them some money for them to come and get interviews so that they can get ratings. But either way it went, it was a contract. It was a mutual agreement or a bargain that took place when this artist came to the radio station or came to the television station to get interviewed. And these are corporations, and what they do is that they use the machine. And what I mean by the machine is that they use the machine, which is basically the computers, the media, the cameras, the lights, the cameras, the action. See, they use this to enslave the minds of the artist, and the artist doesn't understand exactly how to overcome the machine, and he looks at the machine like it's bigger than him because he doesn't understand it's just a machine. And if you knew the law, you can buy into the machine on your own terms and basically still come to them and still be able to get fame and recognition and get noticed by a certain amount of people on your own terms if you know how to control your own music. Because like some of these people, they really got talent too, and it's sad like how they get them because they have their own followers. Like starting out, like it's like this. Starting out, like nobody wants to sign these guys or whatever. So basically it goes like this. They like keep a monitor on the hood, and then the urban communities across the world, I don't care if it's in Europe or whatever, they got their eye on the hood and they got their little agents or whatever in the community, and they're waiting for the next big thing to blow up or whatever, or the next big artist or whatever to blow up in the hood. So they look at the underground artists out there that are making noise or whatever, and basically have like an urban or community following, and they put their eye on them, and they wait until they get like maybe 10,000 fans or like 20,000 fans, and then they come at them offering money. They ain't offering no money if they was just sitting on the couch watching TV. See, the thing is that these were people that were already like ambitious. Like say for instance, Soulja Boy. Let me use him for an example. Soulja Boy was already ambitious. He had a following. And basically what happened with him is that he understood business a little bit enough to get himself to a point where he got a following. I'm not saying he was totally dumb. I'm not saying none of these people are dumb. But they don't understand the law. That's where I'm getting at. They don't understand the law. And that's why they're being controlled. So what happened with Soulja Boy is that, yeah, he blew up on the internet. He was on YouTube, and he was getting people to listen to his videos and things of that nature. And eventually the record labels got wind of him. The record labels got wind of him. They offered him this big deal. I mean, he's still making money and things of that nature. And he might have a pretty decent deal. But the thing is that he really could have came into that situation with 100% control. He could have came into that situation with 100% control, and basically what came to the labels like, yo, I'm going to basically give y'all the money to promote me, and basically I just want like a distribution deal. Like I don't want to be like signed up under anybody. Like I pretty much want to run my own label. And basically I already have a corporation already set up, and basically I operate through this corporation. So he didn't operate through a corporation. They're operating as themselves, as flesh and blood beings. And as I told you, you can't deal in the laws of commerce unless you deal as a corporation. You can't even get into the land of commerce unless you come as a corporation. And that goes for you too, anybody that's out there, even in the work world. Like you can't even get a job unless you're a corporation. That's why they got your name in all caps, because they convert you over into a corporation in order for you to even get a job. They can't even tax you unless you're a corporation. And that's why they got your name in all caps, because they're basically taxing you based on you converting yourself over to a corporation. So the control game it starts from the music industry on down, but it's based on corporate law, which comes from the Kabbalah, which is a form of Jewish mysticism that came from ancient Egypt, to where, like I said, they had this thing to where they basically believed that when we first came here in flesh, we signed an agreement on a different realm in a different Sephiroth, in the realm of Kether, I believe it was, in the realm of Kether. We signed this agreement to come here as flesh and blood beings, and we all signed. Like some of us just don't remember, but you who came here on this planet, you signed to be in your situation that you're in right now. Now, this is a spiritual concept, but I'm basically bringing this down to the mundane level and showing you how they use this same spiritual concept and they flip it and then put you into their corporate realm based on the contract. The same contract that you signed to come here as a physical flesh and blood being, they make you re-sign, and now they own you as a flesh and blood being. And they said that even some of these artists have to sign their contract in blood once they get so high. They got to sign a contract in blood. And I wouldn't doubt it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't doubt it because I know in the occult, blood has a very spiritual significance. And that's why they do, like I said, with blood sacrifice, because of the power that one gets from blood. And maybe I'll do a video real soon that's strictly geared towards blood sacrifice, because video is not really dealing with blood sacrifice. It's dealing with how they control you in the music industry. But the blood sacrifice aspect plays a key part because, like I said, in order for these artists to make like $20 million, $100 million, $200 million, they got to basically get into the blood game. See, that's what they call it, the blood game. They got to get into that blood gang or whatever to basically get to that level, and that's when they start worshiping these darker, lower energy, lower vibrational deities and demons that basically will help them and they will aid them, but they want blood. They constantly want blood. These are bloodthirsty entities that used to live in flesh and blood on this planet, but now they've recently transformed over to the spirit realm, but yet and still they will work for these people that are in the flesh and blood realm or whatever, and they will help them get places that they normally wouldn't have got in return for a blood sacrifice. And there are people that are in the occult that are doing this as well. Like, they do blood sacrifices, and some of these people are powerful, so they can't get convicted. I mean, you're wondering, well, how come they ain't going to jail? They ain't going to jail because, I mean, the whole society is paid off. These people got money. These people that are dealing with blood sacrifice got money, so they basically paying off the industry. They paying off the police. They paying off the investigative agencies. I mean, all these people are bought off because these people have so much power. And blood sacrifice is real. This is something that's in West Africa, in some of your voodoo schools of thought, they deal in blood sacrifice. This is even dark. Actually, the blood sacrifice came from our people, from the dark, melanated individuals. So you can't just say, well, it's just these white people. They got to do this stuff for these white people. Nah, blood sacrifice came from dark, melanated individuals. The Mayans dealt with blood sacrifice. I'll say this. I had a vision of some Mayans, and they told me that part of the reason why their civilization went down was because of the fact that they was dealing in so much blood sacrifice that they lowered the vibration of their whole civilization. They lowered the vibration of their whole civilization and brought in all these dark forces, and they had to be destroyed. And that's the same thing that's happening with the whole 2012 concept. See, you guys out there, anybody that's listening to this, need to really wake up to what's going on with 2012, and even some of the rulers in the Matrix. The more you give your spirit over to this lower energy and this lower vibration, you're not getting anywhere with this, because the planet Earth is at war against people that's dealing on the lower vibration. It's time to raise the vibration. It's about raising the vibration. So those of you who are in the music industry, just like really need to wake up, man. I mean, you just like really need to wake up and to, like, if you want to get into this thing, you really need to be as independent as possible. Promote your stuff on the internet. Do everything on your terms. Try to learn everything about business. Take marketing courses, take accounting courses, learn the tax law courses, take business law so you can learn how to deal with your taxes and everything on your own, because the more of these agents that you get, and they call them agents, people like the accountants and the lawyers, they are agents for the Matrix. See, they're designed to get you wrapped up into this thing to where you're a slave to it. And that's why, like, people like Michael Jackson, he was very intelligent at the end because he figured out a way to break free from them. So he figured out a way to break free from them, and he was trying to manage his own estate. And that's part of the reason why they got mad at Michael Jackson or whatever, but I'm not going to go into that now. He was an intelligent businessman. I mean, he was in control to a certain degree. I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't in control because he made millions of dollars. He still had to do certain rituals and things of that nature, but I'm just saying as far as knowing that business. See, if you could come in and you could be 100% independent if you know how to deal in that business. You know what I'm saying? Like there's people like Tech9 and people like that, they're independent because they know how to deal in a business realm. They're not letting the industry buy them. And Tech9 is making money. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's making money. He's totally independent. He's not doing blood sacrifices and taking oaths and things of that nature. He's totally independent. He's still out there making his music. So if you really want to get into this music industry thing, I suggest that if you don't understand business, you need to get with somebody that does, so you can figure out which books you need to get. Because you're going to need to get like a Black's Law Dictionary and the UCC code book and certain books so that you can understand what's going on with this music industry. But most people are ignorant. They don't want to do it. They just want to be lazy, and they just want to get $1 million check by just going to the studio, drugged up, smoking weed and snorting cocaine and doing whatever else they do, and they're too lazy to really learn the law. And that's why they're feeding off of people like that. They want people like that. See, they're scared of intelligent people that know the law. And that's why when you're intelligent, you're going to have to be more responsible for your own show, meaning that you're going to have to promote yourself and put yourself out there. The more intelligent you are, the more responsible you have to be. The more ignorant you are, the more that the Matrix will throw money at you, but it'll be money with a string on it. Like, we'll give you this money, but you got to do this type of thing. See, it's all about, oh, I'll give you this $1 million, but you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to break free from that. You just want to break free from that and just basically deal on an independent level. And the only way to do this is that by knowing the law, being intelligent, and don't let these magicians and witches and wizards steal from you through the art of contracts, because this is how they're controlling you, through the art of contracts, and they're stealing your soul, and your soul is your creative energy. That's what they mean by selling the soul. You're selling your soul, which is your creative energy, and they're stealing this through the art of contracts. I hope this video helped. For more enlightening videos, please visit my website, which is 13signsastrology.com. That's the number 13, signs plural, astrology.com. Until we meet again, my friend, peace and love at all costs.